right. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Great rising.
Yes, good morning.
Great
Here
rising.
he is.
We here.
Here he
We
is.
made it back. You guys missed us. We missed you. Absolutely. That wasn't sarcasm. That was
No,
real.
really. A lot of people, good morning. Give me a kiss. A lot of people missed us.
Yeah.
And they wanted us to know about it. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know that you missed the show. You wanted more.
Peanut and cocoa bean experience.
Yes.
They wanted to know all these things. We here. So how we gonna start this off?
So first we got some shout outs.
All right.
So
Got the
last
shout-outs.
week,
Mhm.
because last week we went live
Yes, we did.
for part 1 of how to say no.
Yes.
Part 2 is how to
Deal with it.
deal with
How
no.
to accept it. How to
how to
interpret
accept it, how to interpret it.
Mhm.
And so we went live, and we only had a couple of live viewers. So
Yes.
we gave shouts out during the live, but we want to take time out to shout out to Sophie for her
Sophie?
comments.
Yes.
Of course, Andrea.
Andy.
Andy, yes,
Shout out
thank
to
you.
Andy.
Shout out to Andy. Shout out to Bubble and Brown Sugar.
All right. Yeah,
Thank
Bubba
you.
Sugar.
Always hitting us up. And best friend-in-law,
Yeah, Jazz. You know,
Jazz.
yeah, Jazz.
Best
for sure.
friend.
Yes. And you know, I gotta shout out my guys. You know, you know who you are if you're watching. Shout you guys out. I want to drop your names just in case you guys get sensitive or whatever. You know, y'all want y'all's business out there. We know how private you can be.
Yes.
So yeah, just want to put that out there. Peanut says salute.
Thank you for your support, and thank you for missing us. We missed you guys too. So someone had a birthday while we've been gone.
Yeah, it's none of y'all's business.
Happy birthday.
It's none of y'all's business.
So the first time we missed, right? We decided to have a bye week.
Yep.
Came home and we kind of looked at each other and we both were like in a different space, and we needed to take that time.
That was
to,
the first week. Yes.
replenish why we come together, right?
Yeah. Then the second week, unfortunately, the night of or the day of that we record, there was an accident outside of the door, and the accident ended up having a tremendous toll on our recording sound because they PG&E or SMUD, one of the two, had to come out.
Yeah.
So,
And they were here all night, so
yeah, 4 in the morning.
yes.
Just ridiculous. We appreciate you guys' patience.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you guys taking the time out to let us know directly. Appreciate that. Always be forward with me. Please always be forward with me. You would not hurt my feelings. I appreciate it. And we have content for you.
Yeah. So part 1.
Yes.
It was how to tell your partner, significant other, husband, spouse, no. And so what we were able to discuss during the live showing was that, in a nutshell, it was you say no.
Yes. Verbally.
Based on comfortability.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Absolutely.
And so he went a little bit in depth in that, and appreciate it. And so today, part 2 is how do we accept no? And what process do we go as the significant other, the spouse, the partner, accepting no?
Yes.
And my experience.
Yes, please tell yours. Do you have a date?
I don't have a
Do
date.
you have a time frame?
I do not.
How long it lasted when you were trying to accept it? No? Okay. I'm open ears. I'm sure they are.
I'm going to speak for me, but I'm sure other strong women will relate. It is so very difficult to hear, no, not right now. I don't think so. Let's think about it. Let's take some time. Because I'm strong.
Yeah.
And I'm a survivor.
I get this.
And who are you to tell me no? And if it can't be no, because I'm gonna make it yes. And that has been a struggle before.
I can agree with you there.
And then say, oh, my other half, my significant other, my best friend, the love of my life, does not agree that it should happen right now for a reason, or just no. And how do I accept it? It's been a lot of prayer. It's been a lot of let me step outside of myself
Mm-hmm.
and do something different.
Correct.
If I want a different result, then I have to do something different.
Yeah.
You know how the old saying is, either God is or God isn't? Either I'm in this relationship or I'm not. Either I trust you in your decisions or I don't.
Correct.
So that's what it had to be for me right now, currently, when you say something. So we talked about a little bit my decision to have plastic surgery.
Yes.
You never said no. You said make an informed decision. Have you researched this? No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I think this is what you should research this. Have you asked this question? No. Okay, let's go on YouTube and look at, you know, the transformation people make 6 months.
We seen
and
some
then
horror.
9 months.
We seen some
and
horror
then 2
films.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. Live horror films.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then, so you only talk to one doctor? Yeah. Okay, you should talk to more. And how many work on African Americans and look at those pictures. And so you never told me no.
Absolutely not.
But you presented it to me so I would make an informed decision. And after long prayer and discussing it with the women that I surround myself with, and of course my best friend, my better half, my lover, my everything, I decided not to have the surgery. And
She's smart. She's smart. That's smart.
I think it was a risk versus reward.
Absolutely.
I would lose 3 inches from my waistline
And gain 7 inches of a scar. Yeah.
And I'm a size 4. And there's no 5 on a bad week, but there's no reason
Who's the
to cut
shameful
on
one?
there's no reason to cut on my body right now.
Right.
So that's a decision I've made. Another example,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll make it really fast. So, you know, I am self-sufficient, I am strong,
Right.
I am independent, but I had car trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And I say, so, you know, the car's in the shop and they're telling me I'm going to need this big, you know, overhaul, this big job.
Right.
And I call you and say, honey, call them because I just don't know what they're saying and I just don't know. Just call them and talk to them. And you say, this is what you should do, Coco. You should find out what it is they're talking about. Call your warranty company. No, I just can't handle all this right now. You do it. So this is what you should do. And so you never told me no, but you always put it back in my lap. And little by little, I had to remember why we were attracted to each other because of that strength and that independence that I have.
Yeah.
And I also had to look at why was I a damsel in distress too and didn't want to handle it myself.
Mm.
But you always gave it to me for me to research and make the choice. But you were always there. I never felt alone in the decision.
Of course not.
But you didn't do the work for me.
Because how would you learn if someone else walks you across the street? You're letting them guide you. I wanted you to see you had a flashlight, 2 working feet, 2 eyes, 2 ears, and you had enough clairvoyance to make an informed decision on behalf of your vehicle and as well as find out these words that they're using to try to confuse you.
Yes.
Like they're trying to play on your intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're trying to play on your intelligence, shut them up. Get the information from one source, come back with the questions that you had on this one, and then they'll start to see that game isn't going to work.
And I learned so much from that, and I get to take that with me. So in that instance, I need to remember in those moments where you say, "I don't think that's a good idea," woo woo woo. Remember in those situations that you are the key component, and I'm willing to follow you. And it's not about I'm weak or strong. It's a partnership, and do I trust you? And I do.
We trust one another.
Yeah.
And that's a huge piece too. I'll speak to the audience on this one. Trust isn't easy. It's very easy to lose, and it can be lost just like this. And it's very difficult to attain. Everybody doesn't know how to be truthful. Trustworthy. Very, very much the word. We were speaking on how to decipher the forest from the trees and the trees from the forest, and do you interpret the truth? How do you take it?
How do you take it?
Yeah, and the biggest piece of when people tell you no, are you taking the no as a negative, or are you taking the no as let me think real quick? Oh, wait, you're saying no for a reason. You're not saying no because you don't deserve it. You're saying no because think about this first. Put a plan together. Do you have a plan together? I'm certain that most of our demographic, or close to our demographic, is we have people who have either a business started, have had a business that went and sank, or it still is afloat, and you do not move forward with anyone unless you have a business plan. Correct? And your business plan needs no holes in it, because the moment it has holes in it, what happens? You receive a no. You receive a negative.
Right.
And that's the last thing you want. So what motivates you to want to give someone a hard no, or I'm not certain?
I think the same thing you said. It's my level of comfort. With my sisters, my small circle of sisters, my camp. If I'm uncomfortable, I've learned that no is a complete sentence, and I don't have to explain why I say no. But that's come from maturity. And it's only motivated by my level of comfort. It's only motivated by my level of comfort.
Gotcha.
So I tried to tell you no once, long time ago.
What you trying to tell me?
Yeah, it was the 4th of July.
Oh.
It was the 4th of July. You wouldn't take no for an answer.
No, it's not an answer.
See, it was an answer.
It was an answer, but no, it wasn't the answer.
What was the answer?
I believe your apprehension came from comfortability with self.
Yes.
Not because of who I am.
Yes.
It was with self.
Yes.
And because your comfortability with self presented caution, warning, hesitation.
Yes. Yes.
You couldn't get past what I seen.
No.
I seen beauty. I seen life. I seen love. I seen beautiful energy. I seen warmth. And I just wanted to make you, not make you anything. I wanted to have you feel embraced. I wanted that embracing moment to blossom. I have a progressive mind. So being a millennial, I'll just say it this way. Being a millennial allows me to see things in a different light from where my grandparents put me in. My grandparents put me in a state of mind that the only answer you're going to receive is if someone approves it, versus you putting a plan together and having it approved for yourself. And once you approve for yourself, you don't worry about if they approve or not. And that was the best thing for me. So that being said, I never needed anyone's approval for the love that I had for you. Ever. I never needed it. I already knew from me vetting out the relationship, me taking the time to have deep conversation with you, me taking the time out to hear you say, no, I'm not ready to move forward until this. So I gave you a reason. I gave you a cookie crumb. Here, if you pick this cookie crumb up, then I know this is what you truly want. The cookie crumb was the address. Because what we would do is our dates would be met up at a neutral place.
Yeah.
And I'm old school to an effect. I can say this. I'm old school to an effect. I like to pick my lady up. I like to court. I like to take you out. I like to show up with roses and make you feel amazing and make you feel like the most important, special person on the planet. VIP treatment to the fullest. It's difficult to do if I don't know where you are. It's very difficult to just, hey, you want to go with me real quick?
Right.
I don't drive like that, right? Don't do this. But yeah, I like to do this. And if any one of you know who Peanut is personally, you know I pull up on you. If I pull up on you, I've done it out of concern. I don't just pull up on people just to be nosy. It's out of concern. You disappeared for too long. I've driven all the way to Lawton, Oklahoma from Loveland, Colorado.
Wow.
Straight drive. You know who you are. I was not playing. I pulled up. I've driven to Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
From Decatur, Georgia.
No way.
You know who you are.
Wow.
I'll pull up on you. It's not a problem. And if I've done this, again, it's because I care and I want you to know that you're special enough in my life that I want you to realize that I don't do this just for anyone. So I ask the question myself.
Yes. What motivates your no, sweetheart?
Where is it going?
Mm.
I question a lot. I'm pessimistic. I'm skeptical. I have a narcissistic thinking anyway. Not all the time, just some of the time. So I always want to know where it's going. How does this benefit the two of us? How does this benefit me?
Oh.
How does this benefit you? Is this only self-righteous reasoning that you're asking me, or is it because you have an idea that this is going to bless our relationship? So I'll say no if I don't hear it. What do you guys usually hear when you hear no, when someone has planned out something very detailed, a gift, an event, a place, a carved out moment in life for you, and then because your own insecurities and apprehension kicks in, you go no.
Right. Yeah.
Or did you take it as, if you could, I don't know if you have this ability yet. I'm not trying to disrespect you guys. I just want to know if you have this ability to just say, what is she really saying? What is he really saying? You want me to enjoy something because you thought this out, or are you trying to play me? You know, I come from a different background.
Yeah.
And your background isn't similar to mine. It has similarities,
right?
But we different. We're very different.
Yes,
You're my babysitter, so you've seen things in life that I haven't even grasped yet. I don't even have a blink of a memory of it. I say no. My motivation comes from, what is this going to do for us? How does this benefit us?
You haven't told me no. I don't remember.
Not brash, no.
You know.
I've said no.
You've handed me information and told me to go research.
I know what I've said no to you about.
What?
Seafood.
Yes. And you're very adamant.
I was going to show you better too.
You're very adamant about it.
Yeah. Not that I don't love seafood. You know me. You know I love seafood.
He's only gonna eat it in the Bay Area.
It needs to be killed right then. I'm not say killed. That sounds very dark.
Yeah.
I need it fresh. It needs to have lived just a moment ago and now cooked, because it has a certain smell that happens with that ice. You know the details. I don't need to go into. It's going to make me sick. And I recall you trying to have me go to certain places and enjoy things. And I was like,
no,
I got to show you something better.
Yeah, and you did.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
You know, I've always told you, and I think I will continue to tell you because you continue to do it for me, is I love the way you teach me how to parent me.
All right. I'm following.
I always say, you know, you're such a good father. I've watched you in teachable moments with your children, and then you have the same teachable moments with me, and I learned how to teach my inner child the way you teach me. You always give me an alternative. You always give me a different way of looking at it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I care.
Yeah.
So I don't see it as you know, teacher to defiant. I don't see it that way, or teacher to the ignorant. I don't see it this way. I see it as, I care for you. I want you to have just as much blessings and success that I believe we deserve. Same for any of you. And if I see that you're veering off the path that I see that you're on, like I've been on the path.
If I'm used to be parented like, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're going to be like your mother, that's why they didn't want you, then as an adult, I'm going to do that to people around me.
Right.
I'm going to do that to my inner self.
Right.
And then someone comes along and shows you a different way of parenting, and you adopt those skills.
Gotcha.
So when I'm scared or unsure or full of fear or doubt, then you've shown me how to parent differently.
Correct.
My insides. Does that make sense?
I got you. And if I can elaborate on what I hear, and this is beautiful for interpretation, what I hear is there was a way that you heard how to adopt life and how to adopt yourself or adapt into a place in life, and this is the only way. And if you didn't do it this way, you were ridiculed, you were put down, you were ashamed. And I was brought up similar to those teachings. However, I also had a grandmother who snatched me away from a lot of those teachings and said, this is another way to do it. And I have no problem showing others that blessing that my grandmother gave me. And if that's what you're saying, credit's got to be to Allah. Credit has to be to my grandmother. And again, Allah, because they put that in me to be able to be observant enough and as well as receiving enough to be able to put it back out. But I care, so I'm like, listen, let me tap you real quick. Like, let's check it out. Hey, boy, listen, you know you can go this way. I know you got your plan. You have your plan, I know. But you can go this way, and it's a little easier. You're going to do what you're going to do, though. I plant the seed, as they say. I know you've heard that. Someone plants the seed, and you let it blossom and grow and water it if you feel. If you don't, it's all good. You've had the information given to you. But I know ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I was able to have an alternative way to hear things and go about it. And you were able to take it in interpersonally and teach.
But it's not a word and was. It is continued. It's every day.
Thank you.
It's every day. It's not past tense. It's not something that happened once and we're reflecting on it. It's something that happens every day.
Gotcha.
You're amazing. And you've taught me how to parent myself. But I think this is going to segue into another topic that I want to talk about, and hopefully that can be maybe episode 8, is that a lot of us experiencing life and relationships and love, we have become so programmed to look for the red flags that your partner is presenting, especially when you first start dating. And this person does this, red flag. Oh, this person does that, red flag. We never really concentrate on the green flag. You draw a line in the middle piece of paper, and on one side, the things that you did beautifully, an asset and a debit list. The things you did beautifully and the things, you might need some work on. Like, arrive to work on time, right? Because a couple of people out on the way, right? Those things that, with love, but with love. So, we get so used to good, bad, asset, debit.
So
red flags, green flags.
Could you paint the picture again? What is it exactly we're wanting to explain to the audience? The list of red flags that they should look out for? No. Or a list of green flags they should look out for?
Green flags.
To keep everything in positive light. Okay.
Start making a list of the green flags that this person is bringing to the table. What are the green flags that your profession is bringing to the table? Instead of, I don't like the way my job is. I don't like the hours. Yeah. I don't, make a list of the beautiful things that it brings to your life.
Stability.
Right?
Opportunity.
Right? Remember the other morning we woke up and I said, oh my gosh, I gotta go to work. And then I laid there. You sang a Disney song? And I sang a Disney song. But before I sang a Disney song, I started saying, I get to.
Yeah.
I don't have to
go to work. Redirected quickly, too.
Go to work. I don't gotta go to work. I don't gotta get dressed.
But shout out to you real quick. You redirected really quick. From what I heard in the time frame it took you to just snap out of it, it wasn't long. It was like, really? And then, like, the inner superwoman came out. Sasha Fierce inside of you. I don't know what your Sasha Fierce's name is.
Her name is Grace Jones.
So, Grace Jones came out.
That's my alter ego.
Alter ego Grace Jones came out and said, but you have a job. And then you said,
I get to.
Right. And then you said,
look at my fingers working.
And then you said,
look at my eyes blinking.
And you was up, moving around.
I get to get up.
Yeah.
I get to move around.
Some people didn't have a Tuesday.
Some people had to.
Or a Wednesday.
You know, then I sung a Disney song.
Yeah, you did. She sang a tune. She sang a tune.
I made it up.
She's a rapper. She's a performer. She put it out there. I'm sure she'll have an album come out in the near future next to a book connected to a whole bunch of...
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking about an album, you know, I worked on the book a little bit.
There you go.
And so, you know, have a book coming out. Hopefully, this time next year it'll be out. So.
You speak into existence. You put it playing month to month. I'm sure you will. I'm certain you will. Put it together. I want to close with this, if that's all right. Be self-aware.
Self-aware.
When I say self-aware, conscious enough to create discernment where, and when I say discernment, I mean in everything. Work, home life, your personal life away from home, your own self. We have, you know, moments of, you know, what they call it, delusions.
Yes.
And you create these fantasies that you present to yourself in life and try to go out and project it on others. And that's not fair to people. It's not fair to you, honestly. It's not fair to us, but it's not fair to you to project your fantasies. And I say it this way, you can put any colorful word you want on it. I got, you know, as they say, flex. It's immature, honestly. And if you do it shamelessly, you know, and you know you're doing it, come on. I get it. We're supposed to have a certain percentage of people who are failing, a certain percentage of people who are doing way better, and a certain percentage of people doing what we're doing. I get it. But I think humble pie, which tastes like cardboard, should be your first move. But I ain't telling you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just say, have some discernment in what you do. And before
you know, everybody's not going to get that right. You know, it's going to go over.
I think the audience is. I believe the audience. I'm with you guys. I believe that you guys are sharp. You guys are very tactful when it comes down to how you operate in this planet. Otherwise, they wouldn't watch us.
True.
Shout out to you guys. I'd say more we're thankful for you guys. And have a great Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Ready?
I am ready. I was born ready.
Let's subscribe, like, share, and comment to the @peanut_and_cocoa bean experience. Till next time.